Okay. The next morning, the king was recalling where he was and who that bearded man was. Meanwhile, he heard someone speaking. Forgive me, forgive me, said the bearded man in a weak voice when he saw that king was awake. I do not know you and have nothing to forgive you for, said the king. See, I don't know you, okay, and you have done nothing to me, so for what I should forgive you? You don't know me, but I know you. I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you because you put my brother to death and seized my property. So who that bearded man was? That bearded man was actually the king's enemy. Okay, and he had swore to have revenge on the king. Why? Because that king had once he had killed the bearded man's brother, and he had seized his property. Seize means to took someone else's property by force. Okay, so he was very angry at that time on the king. I knew you had gone alone to see that hermit, and I made up my mind to kill you on your way home. So at that time, this bearded man, he knew that king had gone to meet hermit, and he would return alone from hermit's hut. Towards the bodyguard. So meanwhile, the king would be alone, and at that time he decided to attack him and to kill him. So I left but the day passed and you did not return. But the day passed and the king did not return, and this man was fed up of waiting for the king. So I left my place and I came upon your bodyguard, who recognized me and wounded me. So your bodyguard, he saw me and he wounded me. I escaped from him, but I should have died if you had not dressed my wounds. I wished to kill you, and you have saved my life. Now, if I live, I will serve you as your most faithful servant and will order my sons to do the same. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. So in this way, the man realized that he had decided to kill the king, but the king had saved his life. So he was asking for his forgiveness. Further, the king was very happy to have made peace with his enemy so easily and to have won him over as a friend. He not only forgave him but said he would send his servants and his own doctor to look after him, and he promised to give him back the man's property. So in this way, the king was very generous. So he was very happy to make his enemy into friend. So instead of putting him behind the bars, the king made peace with him, and he also sent one doctor with him. He released him, sent one doctor with him, and also he gave his property back to him. Leaving the wounded man, the king went out of the hut and looked round for the hermit. Now, for what purpose king had gone to the hermit? So he was supposed to ask those questions. Okay, so he went to the hermit. Before going away, he wished once more to get answers to his questions. The hermit was on his knees, sowing the seeds in the beds that had been dug the day before. The king went up to the hermit and said, "For the last time, I beg you to answer my questions, wise man." So here the king was begging for those answers. "You have already been answered," said the hermit, still bending down to the ground and looking up at the king as he stood before him. So hermit very calmly, he said, "You have already got the answers of your questions." King was puzzled. "How have I been answered? What do you mean?" Okay. "Do you not see?" replied the hermit. "If you had not pitied my weakness yesterday and had not dug these beds for me, you would have gone away. Then that man would have attacked you and you would have wished you had stayed with me." Okay, so the most important time was when you were digging the beds. This was the answer of the first question that the king if he would not have stayed over there with hermit, he would have moved back to his home. That bearded man would have attacked on him, and the king might have thought, no, I should have waited in the hermit's hut. So that work, or when he decided to dig for the hermit, the ground for the hermit, that time was the perfect time for him. And I was the most important man, and to do me good was your most important business. These are the remaining answers. Okay, so which people were important for him? So at that time, that hermit was important for him. And which business was important for him? Then the doing good to the hermit was important for that king. Further, afterwards, when the man ran to us, the most important time was when you were caring for him. Now then, in this second, when he was explaining him, in the second time when the bearded man came, that time was very important for the king for caring that man. Okay, that was the important time, because if you had not dressed his wound, he would have died without having made peace with you. So he was the most important man at that time for you, and what you did for him was your most important business. So the most important time was caring for that man. The most important person at that time was that bearded man, to save his life. Okay, and to do that man's good was the third most the third answer to his question. Further, what hermit says, remember then, there is only one time that is important, and that time is now. It is the most important time because it is the only time we have any power to act. See, we always live in present. We always talk about past. We always talk about future. But we are most active in present. But at that present moment, we are active. We are talking. We are conversing. We have feelings. We do all those things in present moment. So the important time is the present time, or now. The present moment is important for us. The most necessary person is the person you are with at that particular moment. So the second answer is, the important person is the person with whom you are dealing at that moment. For no one knows what will happen in future and whether we will meet anyone else. Okay, so at that time, that person is important. The most important business is to do that person good, and the most important business at that time is to do good to that person. Okay, because we were sent into this world for that purpose alone. So the most important time is now. The most important person is the person you are dealing at that moment, and the most important business is to do good to that person. So these are the three answers finally the king had got. Okay, and for this purpose only God has sent all of us in this world. So this is a beautiful story with a good moral, that think good, do good to everyone. Okay, and live in present. Good story. 3 questions by Leo Tolstoy. I hope you all have understood this story, and please read the story one more time. Go through these videos again and again until you understand, and be happy. Okay, thank you.